So in the fish depletion example, we saw the text on the top over here. You can see that starting with 100 million years all the way decreasing, while it's animating from the left of the screen all the way to the right, decreasing all the way to 2048. So in my example, I pretty much use the same concept for my idea. So my idea is migration of animals. So pretty much for the first part, I used the same idea as the fish depletion text. So let me show you that. So let's quickly play this first. So I have why migrate. So why does migration take place? So because of weather conditions, or is it food resources, or survival? So basically what I'm doing in the first two, as you can see, let's play this one more time. You can see the first one, migrate, it's there on the screen, then suddenly weather condition pops in, and suddenly that goes away, but the food resources is fading in and fading out, and so is the survival, fading in and fading out. So what is happening is, let's go to the wireframe over here. I have a shot camera over here. I have a light that is right from the front. So let's go to the outliner, quickly select my light. Just quickly want to show you the scene. So here's the spotlight. And also everything is nicely organized in layers and named. We don't want to touch our shot cam, so let's go to the perspective. You can see that all these objects over here are sitting on top of each other, pretty much how it was done on the fish depletion project. So here's why migrate. Then here's the weather. Actually, the weather is hidden right now, but we can quickly unhide it. Here's the food resources, and here's the survival. So right now, if I go back to the camera and turn on my smooth shade all, the way I've animated is, the first thing, all these objects are just moving from point A to B all the way over here, just translating. So that's pretty much going from 1 all the way till 300. But then what I've also done is, for the first two, why migrate and weather conditions, right there, what I've done is I've animated the visibility. So let's take a look at that. So for why migrate, right over here, let's quickly hide these. I've pretty much made it visible all the way from 1. And then right when it comes to, let's select this, when it comes at frame 75, it disappears. So right there at 75, you can see the visibility has been turned off. Same thing with the weather conditions right here. You can see that at frame 1, it's turned off. But then if I go all the way to frame 75, it comes on. And then at frame 150, it's turned off. But then for food, right here, what I've done is, I've assigned if I go to the hypershade over here, I've assigned a simple Lambert shader to the food and the survival. So let me just middle mouse button drag and drop it. And let's go and say, show me the input connections. And if I double click on this, I've pretty much animated the transparency. And the reason I've chosen the Lambert is because sometimes with the blend, I can still see some specular highlights when the light's shining on there, even if I turn off the transparency. So if I select these three over here, and if I go to my animation editor's graph editor, if I hit A, here's my red channel right there, R, G, and B. So this keyframe over here, it's at basically frame 150 and the value is 1. This one's at frame 165 and the value is, you can see, dipping down to 0. It stays 0 from 165 to 210, and then 225 it goes back to 1. So pretty much that is giving us that fade in and fade out effect. And same is the case with the survival right here. Exact same thing. All I've done is I've just pretty much given it a different material over here. So if I go to survival, if I say input connections, and then if I select these three curves over here for the transparency, and if I go to the graph editor, and if I hit A, you'll see that that's my R, starting at frame 225, then going to frame 240, staying 0 till frame 285, and then going back to 300, it's back to 1. So right there. So all the way transparent. So that's how I've animated these two. So in the first case, the Y, migrate, and weather were pretty much animated just like in the fish depletion, but just to show something different that we can do, the food and the survival were animated while animating their transparency. And right now that's being turned off. That's why it didn't show the food, but it's there.